everybody, it is Liz with Liz Art Finds. We're here today with another haul video. I am Liz. I am a part-time reseller on Niknax and eBay, and I go out finding fun things at thrift stores to flip online for a profit. So I'm a lot behind in listings, but I do have a live show tonight. It is on trinket boxes. I've been listing, I think I've got 47 listed so far. I think I might list another 3 before tonight. So we'll have 50. I don't think I will run 50, but 7:30 tonight Eastern, I will be live over on Niknax. Come on over, niknax.net. Come on over and find us there. It's gonna be fun. So, okay, let's get rolling with today. As I said last week, because last week was so amazing, I spent a couple days this past week getting all the shipments out, and it was a little bit of a slower week, which I expected. So I only had like 4 sales this week. I had 2 on eBay and 2 on Niknax, and for not having listed anything on eBay for probably 2 months now, that's pretty cool. So over on eBay, I sold the Liz Art Design t-shirt. Now I actually made this, and there's a funny story here. I used to have a little tie-dye business back in the day, and I donated some stuff to, I don't know, I dropped it off in a truck after a yard sale at some point in the past. And this popped up at a recent, at a thrift store a year or 2 ago. And it was just this like, oh my gosh, I made that. So of course I had to buy it, which was ridiculous. So anyway, I paid $4.99 for a shirt I made that I already paid for all the stuff for. Anyway, it sold for $12. Somebody out there is going to be wearing one of my shirts, and I'm really excited about that. So my profit was $2.96. That's probably not real profit, because back in the day, I actually bought the shirt, I bought the dyes, you know, I made the shirt, so, you know, whatever, but I'm passing it on to someone who will hopefully love it, and that was exciting. So I think now all of my Liz Art Design shirts are gone. That's from like, what, 25 years ago now, because it was a long time ago that I was doing that. Anywho, the Schurich vase, this is a West German vase. I had it listed up on eBay for probably 2 years, maybe more. I think I started on eBay with this stuff like in June of 2022. So we're 3 years on eBay. This was probably listed within that first year. I picked it up for $3.99 back in the day. It's just sold for $25. My profit was $14.44. But it sat in my garage for a while, so probably not the best pickup. Although I don't know, that is something, it's a beautiful piece, and maybe with more exposure, you know, now that people are starting to see my stuff more, maybe it is a good pickup. I don't know. It was gorgeous. It was absolutely gorgeous. So I'm glad that sold. Over on Niknax, 2 sales, just from my buy it now from my store. I sold the Amberina vase, which I've had this for a bit, the little crackle vase. I originally paid $3.99 for it. I took a best offer for $10. I think I had it listed at $12. The person got a really good deal, and I moved another piece along. My profit was $4.21 after fees on that one. And I just sold this set of grapes. I had paid $3.99 for it. It sold for $15 for a profit of $8.48. So my total profit this week, probably right around $30, which, you know, hey, not terrible. My goal, and I probably told you this, for this year is to end the year with a monthly income. So like the monthly, the money coming in is on average $1,000 a month. And we are at 911 as of right now, and I think I may have one more payout in June coming, so it'll bump it up just a little bit. But I think, you know, July is going to be a great month, and I think I'm going to hit that $1,000 a month by the end of the year. And then for next year, my goal will be $2,000 a month, and then for the next year after that, it'll be $4,000 a month. So rocking and rolling on plan. it's slow, but I kind of know where I'm going. Again, plan is in 5 years when I retire to be able to transition over to this full time. So I'm building it. It's building slowly, and I'm having so much fun and learning so much. And thank you guys for coming along for the ride. So let's get into this week's haul. So it was an interesting one. I did go out quite a bit, but it was like little stops. So I didn't find anything too spectacular, although I did have some stuff yesterday, which is not going to be in this video. I'm probably going to break it into 2 videos. I went to a church rummage sale at 7 a.m. yesterday morning, and that was super fun. I got some great things for really low price. And then I spent the rest of the day out and about, and I got some good stuff. So that'll be a couple other videos. But for today, let's see what we got. So we're looking at the 19th. I went out to Unique. I picked up 2 shirts. I don't have them here. They're in the wash. I picked up 2 shirts for me, and then I also went to Savers and picked up another shirt for me. So 3 t-shirts basically for like a couple bucks each, and they're in the wash. So, nothing great. I'm sure you'll see them in an upcoming video, but other things I found. So I got my favorite, actually one of my 2 favorite things of the week. I found this amazing glass trinket dish. I wish it were signed. It's beautiful. Like, it's so well done. Like, they laid down the layers of glass. There's clear glass underneath, I think. Yep, clear glass underneath. And they laid down the layers of glass. Then on top of that, they put these little stringers, and then they put frit. Like, they just sprinkled some glass dust, basically. It was molded into a three mold. So it's like the molds for fused glass are like plaster of Paris. And so you fire the glass once, typically flat, and then you slump it into the mold. Some of these you can just put directly into the mold, but this is so well formed and everything. I'm not sure how they did it exactly, but it's a three-sided, whatever. It's got 3 areas. It's an amazing plate. I was going to do it in my trinket show, but I decided because this is so awesome, I will probably put this in the glass gallery sale along with some of my high-end glass, because I like to have something at all price points for that show. And this is just a great piece. So anyway, I paid $2.24 for this piece, and I think it's in the 24 to 48 value range. So just a really beautiful piece of fused glass. And again, it's not signed. I took some fused glass classes back in the day, and I didn't sign any of my stuff either. So this may be a student piece. I'm not sure, but it's really good. So that was, I think, my favorite thing of that visit. I also picked up the Asian paperweight. Now, I did run this in the paperweight sale last week. It did not sell. It does have, I can't remember what the issue was with it. I think it's got a little ding on the outside somewhere. Yeah, right down here. I remember it was on the side that had the 2 pieces of green, so it's somewhere down here. But it's a cute little paperweight. There's really nothing majorly wrong. I paid $2.24 for it. It'll probably sell for $12 to $18 at some point in the future. So that was a fun little pickup. I got this beautiful ceramic dish, again, a handmade piece. This one is signed, but the signature is really hard to see. It's because the artist, put scales on the backside too. Like, what a nice little touch, right? So it's got this scale feature on the back. Texture is the word I'm looking for. It's really hard to read that signature there right in the middle. But there is a signature there. Really nice piece. So I paid $2.99 for it. I would say it is worth $18 to $24. Okay, so that was fun. And then the last thing I picked up there was another sand fleas thing. Now I haven't listed any of my sand fleas yet. I think this is the 3rd or 4th one that I have. What I like about this one is it is more universally acceptable. Like, it's just a guy jumping into a pool, right? So some of my other ones, like I think one is like a brain surgeon or something, like they're very specific. This is a much more general appeal, that's the word. And it has its sticker. Okay, whoops, it may not focus very well. So it says handcrafted in steel, copyright Sandfleas Inc. USA, all rights reserved, and it has a phone number, which I'm sure is out of service at this point because these are really old. I think the company was in Florida. Sandfleas are a thing in Florida for sure, certain times of the year. I've experienced them on the west coast of Florida, Sanibel Island, Captiva area. It was not fun. So anywho, the fact that, you know, this company decided to make them fun, and they have this whole series of sculptures, is kind of cool. So I picked it up. I paid a lot. I paid $5.24 for it. Is that too much? Yes, that is too much. They sell for $12 to $30. So because of that, I picked it up. Some of them, you know, some of the more elaborate ones are in the higher numbers. Something this simple is probably around $18. So anyway, there's that. And that is all that I found that day. I went out on the 21st. I don't remember what I was doing last Saturday, but it was, I didn't have a lot of time. And I just went to two places that I don't normally go to. I went to a place called the Bargain Loft here in my town, and they had just put out the Russian nesting dolls. Now, positive, negative. I only paid $4, which is positive. There are 4 dolls in here, semi-positive. It's missing the little baby doll. Did I realize that in the store? No, I did not. I realized that when I got home. So, oh God, sorry. Sorry for the squeak. Okay, so we're gonna take them out. We had the big one, and these are all in excellent condition. Okay, I'm gonna try not to make it squeak. I'm so sorry. All right, so we got this one. Okay, and then we got one more in here. Hang on. Okay, got that one. And then, unfortunately, I didn't realize this. This one also opens. And when this one opens, typically there's a little baby in there that doesn't open, and that is missing. So I've got a set of 4 dolls, which would have been a set of 5. So I think that probably negatively impacts the value. And of course, I did not realize that in the store. So another note to, you know, look a little more carefully, because again, when things seem too good to be true, they typically are. And I just get caught up in the excitement. It's crazy. Like it's like, I don't know, like, oh my gosh, there's this thing. I need to get in my car and go away and have this amazing thing. So anyway, typically they sell in the 8 to 24 plus range. I mean, some of them that are very, very elaborately painted are actually over $100. So it depends. I think these are more common. I don't think these are quite as elaborate as some of the ones that sold for crazy money. And the fact that it's missing the little baby, I think is going to detract from the value. So I think 8 to 12 would be reasonable. I will probably put these at auction at some point in the future. I'm thinking about doing some sort of an international thing. I just don't know when. It might be in the fall. So I'm going to hold this for a little bit, and we'll see, but I only have $4 into that. And then I went to the Restore, which is right near that, and I found this Navajo painted pottery piece. It is signed something Navajo, so I know that it is Navajo. And it's interesting, there are typically 2 types of Navajo pottery that I'm seeing online. One is like the one from last week that is very finely etched, like it's got color to it, and then there's just these vertical etching lines of a pattern. And if you look at the solds, there's a lot more of the etched ones that are sold than the painted ones. I did find on Worth Point there were some of these that sold, and they were in the 18 to 24 range. The ones on eBay, I don't see as many of these sold. I see more of the etched ones. But again, on Worth Point, and it did go back 3 years, I think, and there were 3 of them in the $18 to $24 range. So, you know, it's making me think twice now about picking more of these up. I already have like a box full, saving for a Native and South American show sometime, probably in the fall again, that I'm just gonna put together. But yeah, anyway, I picked it up. It was $2, and so I picked that up because I knew it would sell for more than that. It does seem to have a little dark spot on it, so I will work on getting that out. Okay, so then on the 25th, I had to go into the office. I think that was a Wednesday or Thursday. And there's a couple of stores that are near the office, so I pop into those on my lunch break really quickly. So one of them, the only thing I found was this glass starfish paperweight. The bottom is pretty good. It's not clear polished, but it's not totally cloudy either, but it's not signed. So I would, if I had to guess, I would say that is in a Chinese paperweight. Don't quote me on that, but that would be my guess. I paid $1.99 for it. This should sell 12 to 15 to 18, you know, depending on the day. I would probably start it at 12 at an auction and see what happened. So I've got that. Then the other one that I went to, I was like throwing things into my cart very quickly. I found some good stuff. So I've told you that I like to pick up the Mexican glass when I find it. I right now need to start listing because I do have too much, but these were gorgeous. It's like a confetti kind of finish. So these were just beautiful. It's a pair of them. They were $1.99 each. No, they were not. They were 99 cents each, y'all. So they'll sell for 6 to 12 each, more typically in the 10 to 12 range each. So they were just really pretty. And for 99 cents each, obviously I had to pick those up. So we got those. I got a couple of other ceramic things. So I got this little pot. It was also 99 cents. It's interesting. It does not have any signature. It does have a little tag that's worn off, but there's no signature. When you look this up online, it comes up as African pottery, and there's no information on it because the only place it comes up is on stock photo sites. So somebody had pottery with this design in like 3 different shapes and was using it as basically stock photography that they sold that people can use. So all I see is African pottery, examples of African pottery. So I think that's what this is. It's a little miniature pot. The miniature pots do pretty well for me. And I don't know, we'll call it 8 to 12. It might go as low as 6. I might start it as low as 6, but again, it was 99 cents. So it was worth that to me. I picked up this geisha Kutani dish. So pretty. It says made in Japan. Okay. I don't know the age on it. I don't know if it's like really early or late, but it's definitely not in that time frame where it was Nippon. And it's not in that time frame that was made in occupied Japan. So it's either really early or really late, and I just don't know. It's beautiful. It's beautifully painted. It's a very fine porcelain. I paid $1.99 for it. And the prices are all over the place. So if it is old, if it's one of the really old ones, and I'm not an expert, and my guess would be that it's not, but the really, really old ones will sell over $100, 60 plus. The newer ones, 6 to 12, like they're just not, they're not selling as high. So I see a lot of these sold like $6, $8. A lot of them are on bids, you know, where somebody lists it and people just, you know, one bid, 99 cents kind of thing. So one bid, $6. They're not selling super high. But I have this listed right now in my trinket dish sale for tonight. So we'll see if anybody is interested in that. I also found this vase for $1.99. You know, it's signed. The signature is underneath the little pads down here. I don't recognize the signature. What's interesting to me is when I got it home, I realized there was glue around here, which I have mostly cleaned up, but I haven't finished cleaning, so you can still see a little bit of yellowing here. I'm thinking it was used for like oil or like something where it had a spout or something attached to the top. I think this would be adorable if somebody drilled a hole in the center and made like a little lamp, little desk lamp with it. It's so cute. It's also cute as a vase, right? So for $1.99, I mean, I think it's worth 18 to 24. What did I write down? I wrote down 12 to 18, so maybe less than what I think. I don't know. I really don't know. Like these things, it's so hard to value them these days when you're selling things as live sales because you're selling it for less than what it could get if you list it on eBay, but you're getting the sale sooner. So it's, you know, it's just a different model, and it makes it hard for me to be able to tell you exactly, oh, this is worth X amount, because, you know, it depends. It just depends. I've said that before. So a couple other pieces I picked up while I was out there. I found a menorah, and this is a gorgeous one. So this, it's not 100% clean. I cleaned it a little bit. The company is Godinger, and it's got a little Godinger. I don't know how you pronounce that G. It's silver plate from what I understand. It's a menorah. It's a holiday candelabra for Hanukkah, which is in December. I do like picking up the Judaica because a lot of other people don't. And so I don't know. I will be listing a lot of this later in the year. I have a bunch of menorahs at this point. I paid $3.99 for it. These sell the solds on this exact model. There were 4 of them that I found, and it was 24, 25, 35, and 42. So somewhere in the 30s would be my guess on this, if I do a good job cleaning it up and get some good photos. So yeah, that'll probably sell a little later in the season. So I'll probably list it September timeframe for the fall. And then the last piece I picked up is my second favorite piece, the last piece at this place, my second favorite piece of the week. And it's probably my favorite. So that's probably the thing that I'll have in my thumbnail. This vase was made in Italy. Okay. It's from the 1960s. And here we go, Italy. And I'm not sure what the 545 means. I think it is the style of the vase. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about the company that I think made it, because it's kind of cool. So I'm going to put that down for a second. The company, it's Fratelli Fanciulacci. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. Fanciulacci. Okay, so Italy. They were established, Fratelli Fanciulacci Pottery was established in Caprea Fiorentino in 1862. They originally did simple utilitarian table and kitchenware jars. By 1911, they moved operations to the opposite side of the Arno River because of the arrival of a railroad. And then their 1914 catalog, this is a fun fact, shows more than 1,000 different models. Aldo Landi, before moving to Batassi in 1935, those of you who've been with me for a while will recognize Batassi because we found 3 pieces last year, one of which was very, very valuable. So Aldo Landi was one of the main artists at Batassi, and before he moved there in 1935, he worked for Fanciulacci. So I thought that was really cool. Now, because this was 1960s. This is not one of his designs, but really cool. So it says the company produced ceramics in many different styles and followed the trends and the tastes of the time closely. In 1966, the decision was made to expand and open an additional factory in Florence, which proved to be fatal for the company as the demand for ceramics was stagnating in Europe and the good times were over. The artistic quality was lost and all activity ceased in 1988. Okay, so that's the deal there. I don't know who the specific artist is. I will be posting this on the Italian Pottery site to try to see if I can get a little more information on it, but I love it. It's so pretty. So, and this was just sitting there. I'm always amazed when things like this are just sitting on the shelf. So I paid $3.99 for it. Values are 24 to 48. It's just a really, really beautiful piece. So yeah, that was, I think, the highlight of my week. Let's see. Just gonna look at that stuff. And then I had, on the 26th, I went out to Sabre. I guess that was Thursday. So I guess Wednesday was the day that I went to the office. So Thursday, Sabre's does a 25% off here in our area. I think I've told you guys that. They do the 30% off on Tuesdays and for old people, the senior day, and then me. And then on Thursdays, they have a 25% off for members of their club, which is not around the country. I think I've told you that also. It's only in our area, I guess. So I was able to pop in. And the interesting thing was most of the things I found were in baggies. So I'll show you the baggies actually, because it's very interesting how this all played out. So there was one baggie that had this absolute nothing in it, and this is the baggie, and this cross. Okay, so this is Jeremy Diller. All right, so this is raku. It's copper wire and embellished with, I believe it's faux turquoise. It could be real turquoise. I don't know. I have to do a little more research into what he is doing. It is signed J. Diller. There you go. It's got the little hanging thing on the back. Okay, and these came in 3 sizes. Let me see if this is, so this is the medium size. They came in 10 inches, in 7 inches, and in 5 inches. And this is a 7-inch one. So this is the medium size. Okay, beautiful work. We've had little miniature pots by Jeremy Diller before. We've talked about Jeremy Diller before. This is Jeremy Diller. This is back in his younger days. This is closer to now. But his thing, it's all raku in the Southwest. But his thing is he sells wholesale. So he sells only to people with brick and mortar stores. He doesn't even sell to online, as far as I can tell. I mean, there is a thing that's got like 3 stores that are online only, so it's like got its own separate thing, but most of his stuff is selling to wholesalers. No, he sells wholesale to retailers, basically gift shops that resell his stuff. So it's kind of his special thing. The Sacred Cross is designed and produced by Jeremy Diller. Each cross is formed by hand from raw clay, painted by hand, then fired in an outdoor kiln to 2,000 degrees. Wow. Red hot, it's plunged into a pit with mesquite shavings, igniting a blaze, giving it unique flashes of color, making it one of a kind. This cross is embellished with copper wire accents, heart-shaped turquoise piece, and then this one has other stones as well. So really cool. The name of his company is called Raku Pottery Works, but again, it is only to the trade. So fun piece. I spent basically the bag cost me $4.49. It included this nothing pot. It's ceramic. It's plain bisqueware. Google Lens says you can buy these on Amazon for $8, which means it's worth $2 to $4 on the resale market. It's a little dirty. I'd have to do some cleaning. I'd probably start it at $1 at an auction. I've attributed 49 cents to this piece and $4 to the cross as far as, you know, the value that I've put into it. So yeah, when I sell it. Anywho, cross is worth 12 to 24 plus. And again, I have about $4 into it. The pot is worth a couple bucks. I've got 49 cents into it. Another baggie that I picked up had 2 Fenton cobalt shoes in it. Now, one of the things about baggies at Savers and Unique, they're done up really tight and folded over and stapled multiple times. So it's really hard to see what's in the baggie. So a lot of times it is a grab bag situation where you are taking an educated guess on what you might be getting. In this case, I believe these are seconds, and I'll show you why. So one of them is better than the other. This one is the better one. So these are, I think, Daisy and Button, Fenton cat shoe situation, okay? There's no marking on them, so they're older. However, there's some, this actually has a chip, but disregarding the chip, the toe, you can see it from this side better. It's got like a mold seam and then a spot here where it's kind of missing. The reason that I think it's not a chip is because these two are exactly alike. They have that same weirdness going on at the tip, okay, where it's like there's the mold seam and then there's like a blank spot. This one, the second one, has some issues with the glass, like just a lightness and like a little bubble or bruise or something here. So they're not in great condition. I couldn't tell through the plastic. So I paid a total, let's see, $4.49 for the baggie. So $2.24.50. $2 and, yeah. $2 and one is $2.24, one is $2.25 as far as the attribution. Value is going to be hard on these because I don't think they're first quality and they've got some condition issues, which I could not see through the bag. So 8 to 12, possibly less, okay? Will I make my money back? Yes, I think I will. Are they great? No, they are not. So it was just a, you know, grab bag situation. The cobalt, some people with the listings say that they're rare, so that would add value if they are. I have a lot more research I need to do. You know, even the cat on these doesn't really look like, it doesn't look right. So, you know, maybe they're imitations. I just don't know enough yet to tell you anything about these guys other than I'm not convinced that was the greatest pickup. But I was really excited when I saw the baggie that looked like it had 2 shoes in it. So there was that. The next baggie I picked up also was a little bit of a actually they're all a little bit of a disappointment in some way. So the next one had 4 things in it. I paid, see, it says $6.99, but that's not correct because it was 25% off of that. Yeah, 25% off of that. So 5 and change. But I've attributed it out to the things in the bag. So there were 4 things in the bag. One of them got thrown away because it was broken and chipped and it was a resin thing and it was a mess. The reason I picked up the baggie was because of this pie bird. Now, I had never heard of pie birds until Jocelyn, Crazy Lamp Lady, has found a bunch and she talks about them. This one was so pretty. So this is Polish pottery. Unfortunately, when I opened the baggie, it was in 2 pieces. So there was a repair, well, I repaired it. There was a chip, like this end of the thing was broken off. You may or may not be able to see that repair line. You can see it best right there. So it's not in great condition, and I will disclose that. However, pie birds. I didn't know anything about pie birds because I guess when my mom made pies, she would always cut little holes in the top crust, or she would do a lattice crust or something. But apparently pie birds are put into a pie to help vent the steam from the inside so it doesn't explode if you've got a top crust. So like if it's going to boil over or bubble over, instead of erupting, like blowing off the top crust or erupting through it or making holes or just over on the edges, just all kind of oozing out, the pie bird helps vent all that steam up so that your pie stays together and whole. So I just thought it was the coolest thing. So this bakes in the oven with your pie, and they're super cool. So the pie bird, I've attributed, let's see, $1.75 to him. And in good condition, they're worth 14 to 36. Like some of the Polish ones are selling really high. I would have put him at 18 to 24. I think with the repair, probably 12 to 18 if I'm lucky. He's beautiful, but definitely more than $1.75. So that was cool. The other thing in the bag is this little alabaster marble colored egg. So it's cool. I remember when I was a kid, I bought one at a museum, a littler one than this, a purple one. And I just thought it was the prettiest thing. So I've attributed, again, $1.75 to this. It's worth $6 to $10. It's probably worth closer to $6. It's got a little bit of roughness on the side there. The third thing in there was a little ceramic goose. There's no markings or attribution on this guy, so he's probably worth $6 or so. And I, again, attributed $1.74 to him. So that was that baggie. And then the last baggie had second to last baggie, not the last baggie. Second to last baggie had a throwaway Alaska totem pole, and then this sculpture that I thought was really cool. Now it's very interesting. It's got attribution here that says a wolf original, WE, made by hand in Canada, the wolf sculptures, and then it is actually etched on the side WE. Now apparently there is a lot of controversy about these pieces. A lot of them are online written as soapstone or Inuit or Native Canadian, and apparently that is not the case at all. Apparently these are made, I think the guy's name was Greg Wolf, and it was made by ground up stone and resin, and it was molded and then given a finish to look like soapstone. So there's some controversy online if you look up Wolf Originals that talks about how these are fake, and people are like, it's not Inuit, it's not Native, they are more contemporary and they are molded. Nonetheless, they still sell in the 24 to 35, 38, 40 plus range, depending on the size. So this guy, actually, some of them I wrote down less. Some of them are even, the more recent ones are actually less than the ones that were sold a while ago. So I actually wrote down 14 to 18 plus. I've got $5.24 into this because I'm attributing nothing to that totem pole, and I plan to donate it back. It is resin and it says Alaska on it, and it is not worth anything, and for resale. But this guy is worth the $5.24 I put into it. Probably will be able to double that or a little bit more. So I just thought it was really pretty. And then the last one is another situation of, I really couldn't see in the bag. I mean, it's teaching me something for sure. There were, or are, 4 of these little creatures, and then there were 2 other ornaments in there that are kind of nothing. All right, so these are, oops, let me move that. And I will show you the issues because 2 of them are broken. So these are the broken guys. These are the not broken guys. These are Bradford Exchange, and they're called Santa It's Not Easy Being Cute ornaments. They sell for like $4 to $10 each. And I paid basically $5.24 for the baggie. I thought I had 4 of them. And so looking it up, that was a good buy. However, these 2 are in perfect condition, and if I sell them each for, say, $6, I've hopefully covered and made a couple bucks. And I would throw these in for free, because see that hand? He's missing 2 fingers, so that guy's broken. And this one, his whole entire arm was broken, and somebody did a terrible repair. Right up here, you can see the whole arm, and it's not attached properly, so like it's terrible repair. So those are not worth anything in my opinion. The other 2 are. So, and then there were 2 ornaments in there that again I will probably donate back. They probably have 0 value. They say US mail, they're little mailboxes. So yeah, that was another with the baggies. And you know, again, it's exciting because you're doing this grab bag, and sometimes you win really, really big with the baggies, which we have in the past. And then I did find one more thing that was not a baggie. It's another gourd. You know me and my gourds. This one was different than anything I've seen before, and they say that this is from Peru, and this is it's written as cat with tiger face is what some of the listings say. I haven't seen any that have that base, and that base allows it to sit flat. It allows him to spin a little bit. He's also still got his seeds inside, so it's a rattle type thing. I paid a lot. I paid $6, $5.99 for him, but they are worth 18 to 24. The solds of this thing on Worth Point are 18 to 24. So yeah, that's that. Oh no, I forgot one. I also found this beautiful, maybe this one will be my thumbnail. That's the word. I have this listed in my trinket dish sale for tonight, so that's why I almost forgot it. This is made in USSR, so you can tell it is old. The USSR, let's see, I think I wrote that down. Did I? I didn't write it down here. The USSR was only in a certain time frame. I think it was it was either late 1800s or early 1900s. Oh gosh, I have so many dates in my head, but it fell apart at the end of the 1900s. Oh my gosh, I have it written somewhere. I didn't print it. Anywho, because it doesn't say Russia, it says USSR. I know this is vintage, okay? The painting is still in phenomenal condition, and I apologize for those of you guys who know history and are shaking your heads at me. History was never my thing, and I'm trying so hard to remember things, but I forget things. So anywho, really pretty. I paid $2.99 for it. They're worth 8 to 12, so not a ton of resale value, but super pretty. And I did sell one recently, the bigger one. I can't remember how much for, but it was fairly recently. Right. So that's all. That's all this week. So I spent a total of $69.31, not including the 3 shirts I bought for myself. And the value on these, being very conservative, I think is still around $298. I think there's a couple things there that will sell really well. That brings it right around 4 to 4.3 times in value. And we'll know, you know, I'm probably starting next year, when I have a chance to go back through some of my old videos. What I'm thinking I want to do is kind of the solds, but I want to go back to a video where everything in the video has sold and be able to showcase that. And because I'm so inconsistent with my listings, I'm not really able to do that quite yet, but it's sometime in the future is coming. So tonight, Niknax.net. We'll see you for the trinket box sale. Next week I'll be back with another video, and I'm probably going to do a bonus video. So there may be one coming up pretty soon this week that has the stuff from that churchyard sale. because it was good. It was really good. And high value, like low cost, high value. So it was really good. I think that's all for right now. I've got to go ahead and get ready for my show. Have a great week, everybody. I will see you again next week. Thanks again for being here. Please like, please subscribe, please share. Still trying to grow the channel. We've been kind of plateauing for a bit, so hopefully that starts changing. We'll talk to you all soon. Have a great week. Bye.